What does it take to marry the first richest man on the planet? Not luck, not looks, not even love. It takes strategy. Lauren Sánchez didn't just walk into Jeff Bezos' life. She studied him. She aligned herself with his passions. She slowly replaced his billionaire wife. And then she staged one of the most high-profile weddings the world have ever seen. But behind the gown, the yacht, and the 30-carat ring are rumors, dark ones.
Lauren Sánchez didn't just marry the richest man in the world, she executed one of the most calculated power moves in modern history. This wasn't just love, this was strategy. A transformation so precise, so bold, it didn't just rewrite her image, it threatened to reshape fashion, media, and billionaire politics from the inside out. From Hollywood red carpets to secret helicopter flights, Lauren's journey was anything but accidental. She studied Jeff Bezos. She positioned herself, and when the moment came, she didn't just enter his world, she redesigned it to fit her. But behind the flawless gowns, the 30-carat ring, and the multi-million-dollar wedding in Venice, there are whispers of betrayal, of leverage, of a prenup so airtight. Insiders say it's more like a corporate acquisition than a marriage. And then there's the Vogue rumor, yes. That Vogue that could put Lauren at the center of a media empire no one saw coming.
In her 20s, she broke into the industry as a desk assistant at Cassiope TV in Los Angeles, answering phones and logging tapes. But it didn't take her long for her talents to shine. Her on-camera presence, confidence, and that unmistakable sparkle got her promoted.
Stick around, because the deeper you look into Lauren Sanchez's rise, the clearer it becomes. This wasn't a love story. This was a hostile takeover dressed in couture, long before the jets, the billion-dollar fundraisers, and the front row seats at couture shows. Lauren Wendy Sánchez was just a girl from Albuquerque, New Mexico. No spotlight, no privilege, and certainly no silver spoon. Born in 1969 to a flight instructor, father, and a feminist activist mother, Lauren grew up in a household fueled by discipline and big dreams. But there was a catch: she battled undiagnosed dyslexia, making school a daily fight. Where most would retreat, she adapted, reinvented. She didn't just survive those early challenges, she used them as fuel. After grinding through El Camino College, she scored a scholarship to USC, diving into broadcast journalism like her life depended on it, and in a way, it did. Her entry into the media world wasn't glamorous. She started at the bottom, literally answering phones at KCOP TV, logging tapes, doing grunt work no one else wanted, but that was the beginning of something bigger. Her presence was magnetic, her hustle relentless. By her 20s, Lauren had muscled her way onto the screen, first reporting for Extra, then anchoring for Good Day LA, and later scoring a gig with Fox Sports. And by 1999, she was the face of So You Think You Can Dance, her name finally echoing across Hollywood. But this wasn't just career momentum, it was the first version of the reinvention playbook she'd master later in life. Confidence, image, timing. She was learning the rules, so she could break them later. But breaking into Hollywood, that was just the warm dash up. While most people slow down in their 40s, Lauren Sánchez was just getting airborne lit. At 46, when media personalities typically fade into safe roles or quiet retirement, Lauren did the unthinkable. She earned her pilot's license and founded Black Ops Aviation, the first female-owned aerial film production company in the United States. And this wasn't just a vanity project. She wasn't flying helicopters for Instagram likes. She was flying for Hollywood, for government contracts, for high-profile documentaries, and yes, for billionaires. From the sky, she gained a new vantage point, a higher altitude closer to the people with money, power, and vision. It was more than a passion, it was a calculated repositioning. Aviation gave her access to a world very few women ever touch. And that's where things started to shift. Lauren began showing up at private galas, elite environmental summits, and closed-door events reserved for the ultra-wealthy. SpaceX launches, climate forums, luxury fundraisers. She wasn't there as press anymore, she was there as a player. She had aligned herself with the causes that defined a new class of power: sustainability, exploration, legacy. And there, standing at the center of it all, was Jeff Bezos, the billionaire, obsessed with space, aerospace, and planetary preservation. Lauren wasn't chasing him, she was meeting him where he already lived. And soon, she wasn't just circling his orbit, she landed. By 2018, Lauren Sánchez was no longer just a name on the guest list, she was a fixture at billionaire functions, effortlessly blending aviation expertise with red carpet polish. And somewhere between the charity galas and sustainability summits, sparks flew. Lauren and Jeff Bezos, then still married to MacKenzie Scott, were seen more and more in private conversations, exchanging ideas about climate change, space travel, and legacy. But then, the world stopped. On January 9, 2019, Jeff Bezos stunned the world by announcing his divorce from MacKenzie after 25 years of marriage. The statement seemed oddly timed, until hours later, when the National Enquirer dropped a bombshell. Leaked text messages flirty, intimate, explicit between Bezos and Sánchez. It wasn't just a breakup, it was a scandal. A billionaire love triangle unfolding in real time. Suddenly, America's most private mogul was front-page tabloid fodder, and so was Lauren. The fallout was seismic. MacKenzie walked away with $38.3 billion worth of Amazon shares, instantly becoming one of the richest women alive. She released a calm, graceful statement. Meanwhile, Lauren quietly separated from her husband, Hollywood super agent Patrick Whitesell, the same man who reportedly introduced her to Jeff in the first place. The headlines were brutal. The speculation, relentless. Was it betrayal? A media setup? A misstep in Bezos' otherwise robotic empire? Whatever it was, one thing was clear. Lauren Sánchez had just become one of the most controversial and powerful women in the world. But was this passion, or a long-game power move? To women, two completely different blueprints for power. MacKenzie Scott was the quiet architect. When Amazon was just a shaky dream in a Seattle garage, she was there editing Jeff's business plan, giving up her own literary career to help build what would become the most dominant force in e-commerce history. She raised their children, stayed out of the spotlight, and when the marriage ended, she walked away with billions, and gave most of it away. $14 billion in philanthropic donations. No press tours, no designer gowns, just action. Then there's Lauren Sánchez, bold, magnetic, always camera ready. She didn't fade into the background, she stepped into the center of the frame. From Hollywood red carpets to global summits, she cultivated a presence. She didn't just adapt to Jeff's world, she elevated her role in it. Lauren now could the $10 billion Bezos Earth Fund, representing the couple at climate summits and high-stakes philanthropic gatherings. She flies private, she speaks on stage, and she does it all in couture. MacKenzie was the genius behind the curtain. Lauren, she's the spotlight strategist. So what changed? Did Bezos want a new kind of partner, one who could reflect his evolved, public-facing empire? Or did he simply fall for someone whose ambition matched his own? Was this love born from connection or a calculated upgrade? The answer may lie in what came next, the wedding of the decade. By June 2025, the transformation was complete. Lauren Sánchez wasn't just Jeff Bezos' partner, she was his statement. And the wedding, oh, it wasn't just an event, it was a global spectacle. Picture this, a 15th century Venetian palazzo on the Grand Canal. Guests arriving by gondola under armed security. Lauren stepping out in a custom $3 million Dolce & Gabbana gown, her veil flown in from Milan, her glam team straight from Fashion Week. The cake, taller than Bezos himself, and laced with edible gold, caviar served in baccarat crystal, orchids flown in from Thailand. It was wealth choreographed to perfection, but something felt off. None of their children were pictured, not Lauren's son, not Jeff's 4 kids. Even Hollywood friends who'd normally jump at an invite like Eva Longoria were noticeably absent, and Patrick Whitesell, the man who once introduced them, nowhere in sight. People started asking questions. Was this really a wedding or a performance? Then, just days later, TMZ dropped the twist. Lauren and Jeff had already been legally married weeks earlier. In Florida, quiet, private, no cameras, no spectacle. So why Venice? Insiders say it was all about timing. A public display of power and unity staged perfectly ahead of a rumored business move that would rock the media world. The Venice wedding wasn't just a celebration, it was optics, strategy, a curated message to the world. But this wasn't just about the wedding, this was a billionaire. Blueprint out behind the golden gates and diamond-lined vows. Lay a document far more valuable than the wedding itself, sources say. Lauren Sánchez didn't just sign a prenup, she signed the prenup, a fortress of legal precision designed to protect Bezos' $200 billion empire at every angle. According to insiders, the terms were brutal. No stake in Amazon, no claim to Blue Origin, clauses tied to behavior, public image, and contribution to shared ventures, performance-based stipends, sunset clauses, and lifetime NDAS. All filed under Florida jurisdiction, the most business-friendly divorce laws money can buy. This wasn't romance, this was a corporate merger, and yet Lauren didn't flinch. Why? Because she wasn't marrying for ownership. She was building her own empire, her name, her brand, her image. She leveraged the marriage without needing the assets. She didn't just become Bezos' wife, she became a global figurehead, a woman with influence in space, climate, media, and now, fashion. This wasn't a marriage, it was a contract of control, and what she gained next shook the fashion world. While the tabloids were busy dissecting the wedding, Lauren Sánchez was already onto her next move. Global image domination. She didn't just hire a stylist, she built a fashion team straight out of Paris and Milan. Think Balenciaga fittings before breakfast, custom Schiaparelli gowns flown by private jet, vintage Versace reworked for Met Gala-level photo ops, and it wasn't just red carpets. Lauren turned every sidewalk into a runway. Fashion houses started noticing Brands began courting her not just as Bezos' wife, but as a muse. She was suddenly front row at couture shows, posing with Anna Wintour, having lunch with Donatella. The woman who once wore TV anchor blazers was now dripping in Bottega and redefining billionaire glam. But here's the power move. Lauren didn't just wear the clothes, she monetized the image. Strategic Instagram drops, candid paparazzi moments in undisclosed Italian villas, silent partnerships with luxury brands, whispered behind closed doors. She became more than a socialite, more than a wife. She became a walking, talking fashion empire. But in her rise to the top, one question kept coming up. What happened to MacKenzie? What started as a slow burn romance is now a full-blown empire, controlled by Lauren Sánchez. Insiders say Lauren doesn't just influence Jeff Bezos, she controls access to him. From scheduling meetings to vetting invites. If you want to reach the world's richest man, you go through her, period. And it doesn't stop at social calendars. Lauren reportedly has a voice in where billions of dollars flow, the Bezos Earth Fund, climate tech investments, even high-stakes philanthropic moves. Her fingerprints are everywhere. Not bad for a former TV host, once told she was too ambitious for daytime. Today, she's sitting with presidents, whispering with Saudi royals, exchanging nods with global fashion powerhouses. The shift is complete. She's no longer building a brand. She's the brand, a hybrid of influence, luxury, strategy, and with surgical precision. And now, the only question left is, how did it all play out behind closed doors? From a dyslexic kid in Albuquerque to the velvet ropes of Venice and the corridors of global power, Lauren Sánchez didn't just climb the ladder, she reconstructed it. This wasn't just a love story. It was a strategic takeover, executed across media, aviation, philanthropy, fashion, finally, marriage. She didn't just win Jeff Bezos' heart, she embedded herself into his legacy. So now we have to ask, was this all love? Or was it the most calculated play of modern power we've ever witnessed? Is Lauren a mastermind of modern reinvention? Or a manipulator in couture? You tell us. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more deep dives into the untold strategies behind the spotlight. And don't forget to share this with someone who still thinks this was just a wedding story, because in Lauren Sánchez's world, nothing is just what it seems.